What's up, everybody? It is I, Sigma, and we are back with episode 48 of the BBET GamesCast. I'm joined by Superman Jeff.
What's going on, people? It's your favorite superhero here.
As well as Mr. Gamer.
There.
And Blue Bones.
It's your boy. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good?
How's everybody doing? Welcome back to BBET GamesCast. Everybody's here. We're going to give you a great show. Probably a long one. News has been kind of slim for the past couple of weeks, but there's a bunch going on right now in more than one way, but we'll get to that later. First, as we always do, we like to start with what we've been playing. Does anyone want to go first?
I'll go first. Since I haven't been playing much, this will be fairly quick. I've been watching a few things. I haven't played much. I think I maybe played some Smash last night. I was watching Ace Attorney on Twitter. The other day he had a few videos up of some Zelda play, and I got on last night to work on that.
He just won some big online tournament, I think. DNA.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, it was his first online tournament that he actually won, I believe. Well, actually, that's probably one of the first that's taken place, if I'm not mistaken, right?
There was one I watched him in not too long ago. It was like a something invitational. It was like the New York, New Jersey region, and like there's a lot of like big names in that region, and he did not do great. He blames the Wi-Fi oftentimes, but he's still a really good player. But you know, Wi-Fi is just a different animal. But in this one, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it again. Watch me fail," and then he ended up winning. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. So I saw some gameplay from that. So I kind of went in and was working on my Zelda a little bit. So that's
Got
probably
inspired.
Got expired. Saw some stuff that I could do better, some stuff I could try differently, some stuff that I wasn't using.
Don't even worry about
much.
Just Naru's love it out.
Got my Naru. He actually uses Naru love in some interesting ways that I haven't been using it, so that's actually caused me to use it more.
Right. I'm sorry. Y'all need to watch Super Smash Sundays. I don't know a situation that you've been in that you haven't used Naru's love. So I'm trying to see.
It's
how did this
extremely
man shock you?
helpful. Well, he was. I guess it's not like it's like a huge secret, but he was using his aerials too. So like he'll jump in the air instead of doing like a forward air or whatever it is. He'll use the Naru's love because there's no other aerial that's gonna beat that move.
It'll trump.
Yeah.
Aerial.
So he was using that very effectively. Yes. So I was like, I don't use that in the air too often. So I started using it last night, and it was working pretty well. I was fighting a Rob who I kept baiting him to reflect the Guardian because it's only the startup frame of that reflects the Guardian, not the entirety of it. Because most times he would get hit by it unless he popped it off right at the beginning. So I'd let him know it was coming. I'd fully charge it in front of him, and then as soon as I let it go, I'd be using Naru's love. So as soon as he came back, it back to him with that much damage. One time I killed him at like 50%.
Damn.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because what is it? 1.5 damage from him plus the 1.5 damage from me.
Yeah, I think every reflect adds about 1.5. Yeah. So
that was very interesting. Yeah. Aside from that, I've mostly been honorable mention Apex. I popped on Apex, did not play a match, but I did watch the introduction trailer for the Season of Fortune with the new hero. That was very, very, very well put together.
What is her name? Loba or something like that? Loba?
Yeah.
Loba. We talked about her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, remember the cyborg guy? He actually killed her mother.
Right, yeah, I saw bits of that. Like they have a joint backstory or whatever.
So she tracked him down, and come to find out he has like a factory full of bodies that he just transplants his head into. So she went to kill him. And you should actually check it out. I won't tell any more about it. You should actually check it out. Very well put together. But I've mostly been watching Doro Gawa.
I know which one you're talking about. It looks weird, bro.
It is weird. Dude. Yes.
Oh, okay. Like Doro Haro or something like that.
It actually is reminiscent of society right now and the way you could view it, because there's the world where non-magic people live. They're confined to this pretty much a ghetto. where they live.
Mm-hmm.
The sorcerers can come and go as they please in their own world. Their world is lavish and with shops and all this greenery and stuff. The non-magic people live in like slums. So the magic users will come and experiment on people. They'll kill them,
Oh
like just
no.
toy with them,
Oh man.
Oh no.
and then go back up, about their business. The world that they live in, the ghetto, is actually influenced by the magic users because they use magic so much it starts to alter their world. Where, like, there's a Night of the Dead where corpses that were experimented on by magic come back to life, and the town has to fight all these zombies and stuff off. So it deals with like a lot of classism and socialism as far as the non-magic users and the magic users, where you start to see where some magic users who would not necessarily have been, I guess, classes become that way because when they were younger, they were hunted down by non-magic users. So they became non-tolerant of them. So, they don't see them as people anymore. So it's very reminiscent of real life for the most part for certain stuff. So
I watched that trailer like twice, and I didn't get any of that from.
I didn't get a lick of that.
That sounds way more interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't start to touch any of that until like, I want to say actually the middle of the first episode. Actually, it starts to kind of go over that. The lizard guy was actually experimented on, and that's why he has a lizard head. He used to be human.
Ah, okay.
He thinks. So he has to search through different magic users to see who put the curse on him. But I don't want to tell you too much about it, but that's kind of the basis of it. Besides that, lastly, I've been reading and watching Tower of God, because the anime just has maybe about 9 episodes. So I've been going back and forth, but the manga actually has like 400 and something chapters.
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
And I told you, like, I finished Solo Leveling in like 2 days, and it was like 110 chapters.
I mean, those manga chapters are pretty quick, so you can get through them. Like,
it was, and I will say, once that becomes an anime, I think it's gonna stand on par with
Ooh,
Demon Slayer.
what's he gonna say? Demon Slayer?
Yes.
what's that face for? You got a problem with
I
Demon
like
Slayer?
Demon Slayer. No. I love Demon Slayer.
Okay.
I don't think it's if he said if it was on par with Naruto or something like that, I'd be like, that's a heavy claim. But it's Demon Slayer is not a bad thing to aspire to either.
I'm trying to think of an anime. It's very much Sword Online. Pretty much meets the first season of Sword Online meets Naruto.
Interesting.
And when you, because I know they're trying to get it to anime now, from manga to anime. I think they had like a petition or something they were trying to do, or trying to get Netflix to pick it up.
Wait, which one? You talking about the Solo Leveling or the Tower of God one?
Solo Leveling. Tower of God is actually on Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll,
yeah, because I'm like
Crunchyroll produced that one.
Okay, so the Solo Leveling one is not animated yet.
No,
okay,
but it's really good, like really good. Like,
that's my favorite thing when people like suggest something. You know what I mean? They're like, "Yo, you gotta check this out because it's really, really good."
Exactly.
I love it.
So like, even if you just like, because I know Blue reads some manga here and there. I'm not sure about Gamer as far as manga goes. KC doesn't really read manga.
Yeah, I
he
try
doesn't
not
read
to.
really.
Yeah, but
I read
manga.
news.
He just guesses at the shapes.
You wanna know what my issue is with manga? It's that
I thought you were gonna say words.
no, honestly, it's the art. To be honest, like, because because to save costs, it's black and white. But other than that,
no, this one's in color. This entire
the whole run is in color. Oh,
the whole run is in color.
That's interesting.
Wow.
But like in general, like sure I can get all the plot from it, but like in comparison to like watching a fight animated, like I hate watching fight scenes in manga form. Like it just doesn't do anything for me. Like I really get pulled out of it. It's like, all right, well I'm just skipping through all of this and just reading what happens because nothing's happening during these pages. So I
gotta sit there with your imagination.
Right? I don't need this.
This does a good job of covering some of that, but that's why for me it's never reading the manga never takes away from watching the anime for me because it's different than seeing it in action. So I watch the manga because sometimes the manga does different from the anime, but also it's different seeing it unfold. Like I'll read it and I'll be done with it. Then when I watch it in the manga, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen, because the way it comes about is mostly different. Seeing it in action and the way it unfolds is also very different. But if you have a minute, I would read just the first 3 chapters, or set the tone for you so you can kind of see what it's about, because it starts off at a high note. I don't think there was ever like a downtime.
I mean, I've done that in the past. Like I've started a new hot manga just to see what it's about. Like I started the first couple chapters of My Hero Academia before it came to like whatever. After Hajime no Ippo ended, I was reading that for a significant amount of time because that was actually really good, and there is no anime, so I was like, this is my only option. Same thing with Bleach. I was reading Bleach for a while after that show ended. But in general, I like to watch. I don't like to.
What? You know, you're a voyeur.
A voyeur.
But yeah,
can I go next?
Go right ahead. Thanks, Jeff.
So I it's funny that Jeff mentioned Tower of God, because right before we started recording, my girlfriend and I finished episode 6, watching it, and
I gotta talk to you about that later.
I was very uncertain about this anime until this point. Episode 6, I was like, at the end of that, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a thing now. These princesses are no joke. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting. It's really weird and wacky. It feels like if Fooly Cooly had a serious shonen plot. That's exactly what Tower of God is.
Wow,
with just a whole tournament structure.
Yeah, I figured it was some kind of, because you're ascending a tower, so I figured it was something in that vein.
But it's when you say the tower, it's not as one-dimensional as you'd originally think. It's not a physical tower. It's a realm, if you will. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. We're definitely now hooked. The end of every episode, they do really good jobs with their freaking cliffhangers, because someone will just like ask a question and you're like, oh wait, I need to know the answer to this. You know what I mean? Or somebody just shows up and like, what'd she just say to him? Put on the next episode.
I just finished episode 6 as well, yesterday actually.
Okay.
So you're gonna be real mad when you catch up to the end and you gotta wait a week. That's all I'm saying.
Not really, because we gonna be hyped about it together
for a whole week.
I'm sure there'll be other things to watch as well.
Up in his room, looking at me and Jeff running around having fun with Tower God up to date.
No, y'all gonna be sad because you gotta wait a week.
No, get in the box later.
You will be sad.
Get in the box later. Squidward.
I need you to be sad for me to feel better.
Because when it's done, and I can just
games.
Bam, 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 bam. All these episodes in the pocket.
Hey, man. So yeah, let's talk about some games. Golf with your friends has been so funny and so fun to play. The fact that it has like a maximum of 12 players is even better. Like, it's the Mario Kart of golf / pool. Like,
because we were saying that when we played it for Free For All Friday. I was like, yo, if there was a pool game like this, I think that'd be really cool. But you know what? This is actually pretty close to just pool.
Exactly.
Like miniature.
Have a hockey mode.
They have a air hockey mode.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I was in the practice area and they have like a little kind of like a skee ball like area. So
I saw that.
You know, it was a really creative game, very simple, and it's a lot of fun. It loads up relatively fast. You know, when gamers' internet is working, it's wonderful.
The shade.
No, you know what?
Because the last time we tried to play, there's like 3-4 disconnections, not just on your part, but just most of them were you. And then there's a couple others. But it was just like, it hurts because I want to play with my friends. That's the whole point.
It's in the title.
With your friends. So, anyway, yeah, that game is great. I love it. Last night, actually, we had a poker night in Red Dead Online. It was Mr. Gamer, Matt the Bandit King and Chips the Penguin. We all sat down at the poker table. And we put $5 on there, and for good like 2 hours, we're trying to bluff each other.
That's
all
funny.
in.
I would have loved that,
bro. Yo, y'all gotta join us because I think we can do. I think it's up to 7 that we could put at this table.
I don't.
We
know how to play
before.
Poker.
It's Matt didn't.
I don't.
Matt didn't know at first. They teach you. It's super easy, bro. You can pull up.
I'm willing to learn. Yeah, I definitely want to learn.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Texas Hold'em is very easy. It's learning, the concept is easy, and then learning the probabilities is the skill. You know what I mean? And the bluffs and all that stuff. But it's a lot of fun. The game does a great job of just keeping everything in check. It's a lot of fun. Like RDO, I am very surprised at how much I'm enjoying it coming off of GTA 5. GTA 5 online and RDO cannot be compared unless you're talking about separate immersive experiences.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
Distinct and purposeful in the way they're expressing their gameplay. Like one is chaos and the other is just role playing essentially.
It really is.
No, I would definitely agree with that one. GTA is so much more fast paced. Like if you really want to, you could make $500,000 in minutes. Or seriously, in minutes. Or in RDO, you could spend that same amount of time making only $150. But it's so much more involved because
every step of the way.
Yeah, in GTA, it's like, okay, go over here. There's the guys. I have my super ridiculous rocket launcher sort of thing. Versus RDO, it's like I got a bow, a shotgun, a pistol, and some
varmint rifle.
Yeah, and some Deadeye, and a headshot's a headshot, no matter.
A headshot is a headshot. That's what I love about that game. No matter what level you are, if you get hit in the head, you're dead.
You get knifed.
Yeah, for the most part.
I saw Blue running around.
Yeah, like people just run up to you, just and that can kill you. Like you could buy all the best weapons in the game, and then you just got some Joe Schmo coming at you with a knife, and you're dead.
I do think it's still on my console, so hopefully I'll jump in some games with you guys.
We played it before. I think it was just.
I remember.
I feel like Matt was there too.
Matt was there. Yeah, Matt was there.
And I think some other folks from the Xbox chat were playing with us back when first launched. But yeah, we had fun playing it, but the game itself was not that fun. So
I got you.
I do know they did a bunch of updates since then, so I do kind of want to see what's changed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be streaming it this week, but what I'm probably gonna be doing is not a whole bunch of chaos and shooting and stuff like that. I'm gonna do some collector's missions and some traders stuff. So kind of showing I'm not gonna say the more peaceful side, but just a different side of RDO. We're not gonna be doing the bounties and stuff like that. Maybe a hunting trip, some cool stuff like that to kind of show the business and one of the day-to-days that I like to do in RDO. It's great. Overwatch anniversary event, bomb skins have dropped. I like all of them. I'm not even.
I think Mercy's is bad.
Mercy's is the worst. I'll give you that. Mercy's is the worst. And yeah, they definitely could have done a little bit better with that.
It just has
even if they just closed the mouth, it would have been super cool if she looked like a dragon. You know what I mean? But
I just don't see why is she a dragon? And I get it doesn't have to mesh, but it just seemed so arbitrary. They could have put that on anything or anybody.
Yeah. And
it really wasn't that impressive to me anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. Mercy gets a lot of love in Overwatch. A lot of love in Overwatch. That's just, I guess that's the nature of it right now. But I think among my favorites, you got to mention the Little Red Riding Hood Ash skin.
Yeah, that one's actually really really cool with Bob as
creative.
A wolf grandma.
Yeah, the wolf grandma.
Oh my cool. God, yes.
And I really really like Widowmaker's new skin. That Gucci looking couture, very luxury.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Color scheme, yo. Check it out. It looked like she went to Rodeo Drive and picked out that.
I mean, her map is like a mansion, so it makes sense, right?
Oh yeah, she's rich. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like that's the kind of thing like that matches her character. You know what I mean? Like that sounds cool.
It's gorgeous. Exactly. Yeah, but Mercy's dragon. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think they were trying to say like because she flies, she can be a dragon, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a stretch. I'm trying. On top of that, not too much. You know, I'm trolling some mobile games, but nothing that's really sticking yet. I'm not gonna lie, I'm that guy that does those stupid games where you're just rolling a ball through a city, and it's like, you know what I mean? And then I'll delete it a week later.
Now, see what's interesting?
Throw a guy across the
oh
across the field and see how many times he bounces. You know what I mean?
What happened to Tiny Tower?
I play that too.
You haven't visited my tower in a while. I've been visiting you.
You're right.
Yeah, like what's going on?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're not reciprocating these visits.
Yeah, no, I need to get back on my Tiny Tower. I have it. It's definitely not uninstalled because I actually like that game. I played it way back in the day when it first dropped. They did a lot of Star Wars. Yeah, they did a Star Wars theme back in the day where you could
tiny
just make
Death
like
Star.
Death Star.
Yeah, I remember.
Man, I loved that game. But that's what I was gonna say. Words with Friends 2. I got back on that. And Kev Mui is a cheater. There is no way he making up these words.
Kev Mui cheats.
Wait. So words with friends. So we need to get words with friends too. I'm downloading that.
Kev Mui is whooping me.
A cheater.
He is whooping me in Words with Friends 2 right now. And man, man,
that's perfect. I have it. So we're gonna play together. Cool.
We're gonna get that happening.
Yeah.
That's my Bowser bro. Shout out to Kev Mui. You know what I'm saying? He's a wonderful listener and a great friend. But yeah, that's what I've been playing and watching.
Okay. Like, how do you say such sentimental stuff?
Right.
Because he knows it all comes out of love.
But I'll go next because Blue mentioned like kind of slower paced games, and I've actually been spending time playing Minecraft with my son. So, and that is more of a slower, calmer type thing because we basically spending the majority of the time, and I want to say we played for like maybe 2-3 hours straight. Trying to build a house. Like when we streamed it, we were in survival mode, and we kind of hit a rough patch because there was just this super strong witch.
I remember that witch.
Just right outside the house where we started building, and it just kept killing us. It was a hassle.
Zap.
So in this go around, like we found a place that was near an actual village. So like there were like NPC characters that had houses. So we stole some of their cobblestone. Adam stole some of their doors off their houses.
Duh.
And then like I dug a foundation, like a really big square I dug into the ground, and then like we just like, all right, so you get a bunch of wood, I'll get a bunch of rocks from over here, and then like we would come back, we would turn it into the stuff we needed, and then we just filled in like the whole floor for the foundation, then we put the bricks all around it, so that we really spent time like just building like this pretty big looking, like it's dope. If I can get video, matter of fact, we're probably gonna be playing this Wednesday, so you probably see the house we made if we go back to that.
Yeah. I want to see that
realm. Like it's empty inside, but I think it looks pretty nice because we also
you ain't got no place to sleep or nothing.
No, we got beds in there. Yeah. Just 2 beds, but only because we found out that the when it's nighttime and everything's trying to kill you, if you go to sleep, then you just wake up in the morning and then you can continue working. So like we kind of needed the beds.
Only when there's no monsters around.
But I mean, if we're in the house, then
if you're in the house, yes, okay.
Then like they can't really mess with it. Even though apparently there are pillagers, like it's like a band of raiders, and like they came to the house, like they busted in the house.
What?
Oh yeah, you could be raided in Minecraft, and it's like a whole thing where when you complete a certain level of a raid, you get a Tome of Undying, which when you hold it, anytime you would die, the tome just disappears from your inventory and you stay alive.
It's like a 1-up.
Yes.
I'm still like I'm still caught up
Aether
on
Dragon.
The what dragon?
the Aether Dragon.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like that big thing that's like in like that underworld place.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah, I don't know how to even begin to start getting to that stuff. Like, is that what survival mode is? Like, you find out how to get there eventually, and then you kill a thing?
Yeah, the goal of Minecraft is to beat the Ender Dragon. And in order to beat the Ender Dragon, you need to get to the end. And where you get to the end is by defeating Ender Men and then getting the pearls.
Okay, see, I'm nowhere near any of this stuff.
Why is everyone looking at me like I grew a second head?
No, because I thought this was like a Lego game, bro. Like y'all just build stuff like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Minecraft has it's two modes. Like there's and I'm
creative.
Yeah, everyone knows this already. I'm just coming to it, so this is just me experiencing what Minecraft is for the first time. But there's survival mode and then there's creative mode. So what my son Starboy was doing for the most part was playing around in creative mode because he's afraid of the stuff that comes to get you in survival mode. So he only wants to do survival mode if I'm going to do it with him because like we're a team. So that's what we were doing when we were playing. And honestly, I was having fun. Like I was trying to build like the place. I was trying to learn like these things. Like, oh, if you combine these things, then it makes this. If you combine these things, then it makes that. Oh, I need more of this thing, so let's go get that thing. So it was really fun. Like just fooling around in the space. Like I don't know how long it will take to complete, but I guess that's not the goal. It's like live in this world, play in it as long as you want, build the stuff you want, figure out things, and then I guess at some point you'll eventually meet these trials that you'll need to build stuff and adapt to overcome, and that's really cool. And like the difference between that kind of like it's a survival game in a sense, like that's why it's called survival mode, but but it's like it's the fact that it's a simulation. Like I'm learning about the world the more I experience with it. Like I was like cutting down all these trees, for example, and then I got like oak tree saplings, and I'm like, wait, why? I don't want these, so I like threw them outside in my back of my house, and then after a couple of day cycles, the trees grew in the backyard. So I was like, oh, so if I got saplings or seeds for like these other things, then I could I could plant crops and stuff. So immediately I started thinking of like Animal Crossing and how that game is honestly a ripoff in comparison. Like,
what?
Yes, because the stuff.
Wait.
Whoa.
Because the stuff you do, it's a ripoff for the player. Like you don't get the satisfaction of the simulation. Like Animal Crossing steals that from you.
Okay. We need to back all the way up. We're gonna have to back all the way up here, buddy. I'm gonna need you to pump every single one of the brakes you can possibly find because, and I mean this with. What?
I'm so serious. Like,
and so am I.
Okay, let me hear this.
So, the sense of accomplishment that you get from living in a world that is somewhat dangerous, that you build defenses against, that you adapt, you learn from, and then you basically build a sustainable farm or habitat or whatnot. That's not what you get in Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is...
Oh, yeah. It's not that kind of game.
Thank you, Blue.
You know what?
Thank you.
That's fine, but I feel like it's not a game in that sense. Like it's not a survival game. It's not a farming game. It's not a simulation game.
It's not.
So what is it? Like that? What is Animal Crossing?
It's a cathartic game.
You gonna have to attack your whole being like that, son?
Because in my head, the catharsis is coming from I faced a hardship. Or this was difficult. I figured it out. I made it easier for myself. So now I have my accomplishment. Whereas Animal Crossing is like, I grabbed a bunch of stuff that was laying all over the floor. I sold it for money, and then I bought a bunch of stuff and I put it into place. And that's not the catharsis.
No, you missed a lot of steps. There's a lot of other things to do. There's a lot of other ways to gather materials. You cannot buy everything.
He really going in on Animal Crossing, yeah? Like, really?
Jeff is just poking the fire,
right?
Bro, y'all. But the thing is, y'all have not played the game.
I mean, I tried Pocket Camp, yes, and I've watched some gameplay because I don't want to pay $60 for that experience.
I understand that,
and I have listened to you guys talk about what you like about the game, and I get certain aspects. Like I really like the customization aspect in the way that you can kind of just like make cutesy versions of this thing and that thing. Like that all seems cool, but like
I just think it's crazy how you just gonna belittle somebody else's profession. Like, that's crazy.
profession, their professional Animal Crossing play.
You spend that many hours in it, you're a professional. You know what I mean?
So let me.
I guess I
need
was gonna say I feel like playing Animal Crossing is similar to pruning and taking care of a bonsai tree. That's how I feel.
Tell them.
You got to do little tasks left and right. You know what I mean? You got Jeff. Shut up, bro. You were killing me, man. No, but I'm being serious. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying it's a serene Zen.
Yeah, it really is. And you watch certain things grow over real life time. You know what I mean? Now, can you do the time traveling stuff? Yeah, that's your choice. Does it hurt anybody else? No, you just do you. But the fact is, you have to gather materials. You have to grow things. It takes time. You have to build relationships with these people. There's a large checklist of things that you can do throughout the day, all day on Animal Crossing.
And I will say the
it's really
make it seem like it makes
there's
one of the biggest part of the game too. How
there's hundreds of characters. There's hundreds of islanders that can appear, and you can only hold like 10 at a time. So they not only do they get to know you, if they leave your island because they're fulfilled at your island, they go somewhere else. They can visit your friend's island. Your friend, they remember you. Like it's a whole network. It's a whole building relationship and building your island in this great place for people to come through and enjoy themselves.
It's like a virtual social simulator or something.
I shouldn't be so biased.
It's like your own virtual deserted island. Because here's the thing, this island is yours. It's not Nook's. You're not taking care of it for someone else. This is your island. You get to make it look however it is that you want. And one of the things that I wanted Blue to mention was, yes, you have to gather materials. You have to complete tasks to earn points to go to other islands so that you can get this stuff, because not everything you can get on your own island.
Don't forget about the Fight Club either.
Moving on.
Basement.
Moving on. But so you have to complete these tasks, and then after that, you get the ability to further customize your own, your own island. Like I'm pretty sure you've seen, like people have made Shibuya, people have made Pallet Town, people have made Link to the Past dungeons, like all this kind of stuff. It's like it's a mishmash of a variety of different things, but you literally make that the way you want to. And the other thing is, if you don't, there is repercussions, because after a while the villagers are like, well, where did he go? Because here's the other thing too, no one else takes care of the island but you. You're the only one who...
We can make this one a whole separate podcast. Let's kind of reel it back in.
Yeah.
Let's just assume you don't play anything else.
Wow. Anyway,
we continue.
No, I did. I did finish a game for review. Resolution, spelled with 2 I's. And if you've seen Hyper Light Drifter, it's in that vein, like the art style, and like it's a top-down perspective, like action game where person run around with like melee weapons and whatnot. Honestly, I was kind of lukewarm on it. Like it looks beautiful, it controls well and everything, but it's it's such a cryptic story. Like they're trying to do so much. Like it's like this far future. There's like a class warfare system. Everybody's talking to each other about, changing history, like, 1984 George Orwell type stuff, talking about gods and like the nature of man and humanity, and are you a puppet, like who your allegiance is to, people controlling people. Like it's just so much going on, but nothing that's spelling out an actual plot in terms of what am I doing as my character, and what are the results and what are the plot points along the way. Like the 100-foot view, I'm an assassin, heavily augmented super soldier type guy, maybe. I connect with an AI, and the AI wants me to plug it into something to control the world.
So
That's the plot.
Oh, okay.
That's the backstory of how Skynet came to be. That's what you're saying to me.
I wouldn't even know. Like, to draw that much of a line, there's not enough there to do that. Like, it might as well be, because it could be anything. Like, so that really just detaches me from like what I'm doing. Instead, I'm just running around and I'm just fighting whatever attacks me. Even though some things aren't hostile to you at first, some things you can talk to, like some creatures or people or whatnot. And then if you hit them, then they're hostile to you. But then there are other, like pretty much every enemy in the game, like once you defeat them, they're in like a down state. Some of them will be like, they'll wave their hands like, no, don't kill me. And others will like breathe on the floor or whatever. So it seems like they're trying to give you the sense that, oh, you don't have to kill everything. But if you do kill everything, like, maybe there's a consequence to that. I finished the game, like, from what I can tell. Has anybody played Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater?
What you were talking about was also making me think of Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, okay. But you know how, and this isn't really a spoiler for Resolution, but you know how at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, all the guards that you killed, like, kind of wash down that river?
Oh, with the ghost guy, with the phantom guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone you've killed, you then have to encounter them.
Yeah. They essentially do that. Like, it's the exact same thing. Like, there's a long pathway towards the very end, like the last room or whatever in the game. And, like, I was running up this thing for so long because I killed everything because I did not care. Like, you could tell, like, because it was like, okay, these were the guys from the first area. Oh, these are guys from the second area. Oh, these are guys from the first area when I went back, because there's tons of backtracking in this game. Like, it's supposed to be a Metroidvania where, you find new abilities, you break into new areas and whatnot. But at the very beginning, they show you, oh, there are 3 points on the map. Head to any one of these to get whatever you need. And that's a lie. If you go to any other direction other than the first one you're supposed to go to, you're blocked on multiple fronts, because there's a bunch of different ways to get there, but they're all blocked. So it's like, why point me so far in the wrong direction when I have to come all the way back here to do this thing? Like, it was actually very frustrating.
Like they're trying to be cute.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like Discovery. It didn't feel like, oh, I'm finding out all these secret places. And there's a ton of secrets in the game. Like, I'll grant them that. Like, there was cool stuff that I found, but I would find a thing, and then either it would be so obscure that I had no idea what I was supposed to do there, or it was a literal dead end, like an empty room. And it's like, okay, there must be something here, right? But like, if there was a clue in that room,
I hate that.
Yeah, like if there was a clue in this empty room and there were tons of them, no idea what that's supposed to be. Like, it's not like a hint. It's not like, oh, find this thing, or like, no, come on, you got to give me something.
I love games where anything that you look at, you can tell that there's a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whether it's for atmosphere, whether it's for game mechanic, there's a purpose. I hate when you walk into a room and there's nothing, and it's just a way to like round out the map or something like that. You know what I mean?
I think
like
there's a time and a place for something like that, because like GoldenEye on N64 and Perfect Dark, that's how they actually built those maps for the single player game. Like, they built an actual facility, like they put bathrooms in places where bathrooms would be, they put rooms and warehouses, and then they built the level design around that. So there were rooms that they didn't actually use for the game, and that just added to the realism of it. But
right,
this is
that's what I was saying,
this is a Metroidvania where you're looking for secrets. Like, nooks and crannies matter. So if you're gonna put something that has nothing, or if you're gonna put something that has something, at least make it attainable. Like, give me some kind of clue that there's something I need to do here, or that there's a reason for me to come back here. Because there were so many rooms that look like that, I basically got the impression, okay, so there's just a lot of nothing here. And if there is something there, I don't care enough to go find it anymore.
Yeah, it's not even worth the time.
Yeah, I think Dark Souls did a great job with that. With like,
yeah, Dark Souls is really good at that.
Yeah.
So that review was up on the Escapist site. I do still think there's good there. Like, a ton of people are comparing it to Hyper Light Drifter, which I haven't played yet, and I want to now. Yeah. Because I want more of that game, but like a good version. But other than that, I started that new Netflix show starring Steve Carell, Space Force.
Yo, how is that? I've been waiting to start that
I've been
one.
liking it. I'm on, I want to say like maybe episode 6 or 7. It's
okay.
It's funny. Like it's not cringe funny like The Office, which because it has, I think, some of the same creators, and Steve Carell is in it. Yeah. But people are comparing it to the HBO series Avenue 5, which I also watched.
Okay.
I don't like that comparison. Like they're both having to do with space, but one is like far future, like a luxury space cruiser that gets stranded, and the other is trying to build Space Force on Earth. Like, it's not that far-fetched and outlandish, you know what I mean? It's more grounded and down to earth. So, again, it's not as like laugh out loud funny, but like, I like the character. Like, Steve Carell's character is endearing, even though he's like a brash military man. Like, you can like him. Like, he's likable. And then John Malkovich, who is his head scientist, like
I love him.
They butt heads. But he's John Malkovich is like killing this role because he's so like ambivalent. Like he hates everything about the fact that there's military involvement in space exploration, and like he's like vocal about it. He's sarcastic about it. Like it's their dynamic is the best part of the show, honestly.
Have you seen Burn After Reading?
No. That Matt Damon movie, right?
Brad Pitt. No,
Brad Pitt's in it.
Yeah, he was amazing in that movie. You gotta watch. George Clooney was in it too. You gotta watch that one. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean that's yeah. So that's pretty much all I've been up to this week. Who's left? Gamer?
Me,
Mr. Gamer.
All right, so I have been going back through old library of things. First, I finally completed Don't Starve Together. I have actually, as many years as I've been playing that game, I have never actually gotten to the end where you encounter Maxwell, and I finally did that. So that was fun. I have been doing some silent practicing in Killing Floor 2 because I have to prepare myself when I tell my viewers, hey, I'm going to be doing this. And for those of you who haven't seen, so I stream Killing Floor 2, and they have mixed play enabled where the viewers can interact with the streamer. But it also affects everyone else. For example, we have two of the lovely people that I have on this podcast, Blue and Sigma, thinking that it would be a fantastic idea when it was me, Knight, Dot, and Joker. Me, Knight, Dot, and Joker. Mm-hmm. And we're doing this on hard mode. And we're like, okay, we got at least level like 15 characters. Someone's at level 23. We can handle this. These guys seem pretty good. And boy, was I wrong.
They did seem pretty good.
This is the thing, though.
Good.
This is the thing, though. Like, when Joker got in the party, right, he was talking all kinds of stuff. Like, oh, we got this, my boy. We got this. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I got level 20 this. I'm going to level 20 that. Da, da, da. And we was in the chat like,
I was like, well, okay, well, let's give him a challenge again, I guess.
Let's see this. Oh. We got all the buttons right here, bro.
So let me tell you from the streamer's aspect, I see like Knight, Dot, and Joker don't get the messages that, oh, Sigma has spawned a flesh gear, Blue Bones has spawned in a Scrake. I'm the only one that sees that, but they still hear all the roars, and they notice like we were on wave 1. Wave 1. Watching that go down, watching the number go down, we got to 5 Zeds, 5 of them left, and then next thing you know, and it's just like spawned in quarter pounders, spawned in screens. Like, are you kidding me? We don't have ammo. Like, we just but wait, there was one more. There was one
ammo.
more.
Come on, be fair.
No. Here's the thing: you never give us enough ammo for what you bring in. And there was someone else who was in the stream. Shout out to someone irrelevant because they were like, "You're not getting past. You're not getting past this first round." And I'm like, really? Yeah, we did not get past the first round. It was so oh my god.
So one thing I don't know if you guys know, that we see, there's actually cooldowns on when we can do that. Yeah,
and I was paying attention to those
stuff too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. It's like you would spam like the health, the ammo, the Z time and everything like that, but you would only give us like 50% health or like one magazine, but you would spawn like three.
We don't have control over. Yeah, we don't have any control over that amount.
I know, which is why like we're still fine tuning things, because like after wave 5, like when we get ourselves established, okay, then start throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us. Don't go round 1 like, oh yeah, thanks. I'm just like, whoa.
But to be fair,
we're fighting with combat knives here. Come on.
Also, to be fair, the other thing that I didn't realize till you said it was when we try to help your team, it only goes to you. Like, so it's not like we can't heal the whole team. We can't give the whole team armor. But when we spawn the thing, everybody has to fight it.
Oh, I looked that up, right? I looked that up, right? They would have to be co-streaming with me.
I was gonna say that. You should have them co-stream. They don't have to show their face if they don't want to, but at least get their voices in there, do a whole co-stream, and then all of y'all can get that. Put the mix play on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I was thinking like, okay, I did throw a bunch of these bad guys at him, so let me give him some health, let me give him some armor. But it's only Gamer who gets it, so everyone else is still getting destroyed.
And when Gamer dies, we're just like, ooh. Like, we can't do nothing.
But here's the problem with that though. Just like you'll be able to give whomever else is co-streaming health, you can also spawn more enemies. So that'll be 2 different cooldowns for you to spawn enemies, which is even worse.
Or better.
No, worse. You guys are a little too click happy. You guys are a little bit.
Y'all talk smack.
Right, yeah, y'all went in there like, oh, we got this full team. We in it. It was like, oh, all right, I guess they got it. Let's see what they can do.
It was round 1. Round 1.
I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I didn't choose when y'all talk smack.
Okay. Anyway, so been playing a lot. Been playing a lot of that. I have been playing a game on my phone called Crash Fever. It's basically like it's a matching game, but instead of everything in a grid like you would see with Bejeweled or something like that, everything's just kind of in a bowl, and you have to like tap the matches.
Oh, I think I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, and that's been pretty good. As far as things that I've been watching, let's see. Still watching Archer. Absolutely loving that.
What season are you on?
I'm still on season 1 because I got distracted.
You got a journey.
Oh boy, yeah, I do. I started rewatching Assassination Classroom.
Oh, okay.
And I started rewatching Assassination Classroom because that was one of the first animes I had seen where every character is explored. Like typically, like in what is it, that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? It was a school, but there was Jaden and he had his 2 friends, and then you had the other antagonist and his people or whatever. Every single character in this classroom has a backstory that is explored in an episode, and that was amazing when you get to the final episode, which I will not spoil. But the fact that every single person was explored, like that standard meme where it's like, oh, look, pick out the main protagonist, one with like the craziest hair,
right.
Crap, like no,
they
like
all look like
every single one of them had something to give. It wasn't just like Goku can do it, or Luffy, just like no. Every single one of them had something to give, and that was fantastic. I was a very Very, very big fan of that. And I think the one that I'm trying to get in, trying to jump into because I'm so far behind with it. Oh my goodness, the name of it is escaping me. It'll probably come back to me later.
I've never watched Escaping Me.
Shut up.
Oh, you okay? Are you and Jeff? Did you and Jeff sync up this morning? Is that what's going on right now?
No, Jeff is on a much faster pace than me. He's annoyed that we're talking about this right
now. Final thing. So no more things watching, but final thing that I've been playing has actually been Overwatch. I want to get better at being DPS. Yeah. I have been practicing my Sombra and Ashe, and am looking at a lot of like Overwatch tutorials and things like that, as far as how to, because not every single DPS is all about getting out the damage. And I will have to say this because this has been helpful. Blue has taught me what DPS stands for. Be a problem. And
that's my saying.
As simplistic as that statement sounds, it makes sense, because I could be Tracer just annoying people in their backline. Like, that's it. Or I could be Ashe just sniping people. Or I could be Sombra putting down the like hacking away the Reinhardt shield, and then everyone just like comes in. Like,
as long as you're being a problem, you're helping out the team.
Yeah, like I don't always have to be the one getting the golds and the kills and whatnot, but I could be whatever it is that's needed to push it forward, often with Jeff and his flanks as Reaper. Like, that's a big help, because then everybody's paying attention to that, and then we just snowball straight through. So that's about it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and skip our Super Smash Sunday recap this week because there's a lot of topics we want to get through.
Yeah.
First up, we have a couple of quick updates. Blue, what you got for us?
BlizzCon's canceled. That's it. No, honestly, COVID-19.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone saw that coming.
BlizzCon
canceled.
I love BlizzCon. A lot of my friends and I, some of my high school friends used to go back in the day. I've had some of the great. I was there for the Sombra reveal, which was
cool.
Amazing. Yeah, I got to take pictures and stuff like that. BlizzCon's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it's closed down. We all know why. So yeah.
Are they doing something digital? Do we know?
They said at the beginning of next year they might do something virtual, but they're still working out the details.
Yeah, this announcement came so late. It seems like maybe they were holding out hope that they could still do it by now, and then
because the thing is, BlizzCon is in October,
right?
That's the thing. So they were like, okay, maybe if something clears up by summertime, we'll be able to. No.
Because Disney's is opening up in July, so I figured.
Don't even get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. I am so disappointed.
Okay.
Anyway,
so Gamer also has a quick update.
Yes. So there's been a lot of there's been just a lot of shade thrown between Mixer and Twitch, and we have had our unfortunate problems with Mixer at some time, but
like right
Shroud
now, this time,
one of the people who left with Ninja says that Twitch is going to be losing out to Mixer in the future, because according to him, people aren't seeing the big picture. People are only looking at Twitch as the biggest one now, and not looking at Mixer, where they are getting slower numbers and growing, versus Twitch, which is just kind of like the beast that Twitch is.
Like, I mean, one thing jumps out when I first saw this story to me, and it's the fact that Shroud is being paid by Mixer. Like, not that he was paid for this particular statement, but he legitimately signed a contract to leave Twitch and stream on Mixer exclusively. So him endorsing it like this really benefits him. Like, there's no reason for him to, like, this would honestly be a bigger deal if he was like, you know what, Mixer's probably not going to be around forever. Like, Twitch is the main thing. After he left them, like, that would be like kind of crazy. But this kind of seems like I want this to be successful because I'm here. It's gonna beat these other guys. because all his argument, in the article, like his argument is basically saying that Microsoft, they're a big company. I was about to curse. They're a big company.
They're perfect. It's huge. I'm like, what does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything because Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Yeah,
they're just as huge, if not bigger. Like I don't know what their net worths are right now, but they are very much so comparable. So like they got staying power too, and they have the benefit of the multiple years head start. So I don't know.
Well, and the other thing that was in there is he states that Twitch has become oversaturated. It's just because it's the biggest platform. It's a platform that a lot of people have been using. I'm confused what exactly, and obviously it's not as if he's going to be giving statistics or articles to back this up, but to say it was oversaturated, it's just the biggest. That's it, and it's Amazon, and Amazon is tied into so many different things, just like Microsoft is tied into so many different things. I'm pretty sure Microsoft would probably be raising some eyebrows if Amazon came out with its own operating system and computer all of a sudden, like boom.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's a scary thought. Let's not even go down that path.
Jeff Bezos is how close to becoming Lex Luthor?
He's
how
already
close
there.
again?
He's there.
He's already there.
Oh, okay. So he's already Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't even think Lex Luthor was a trillionaire at any point. Like, I don't think that's canon anywhere.
Well, they never touch his net worth, so who knows? You know.
I mean,
I was actually going to ask.
Right?
I was going to ask you, Jeff. Do we know Lex Luthor's net worth? That was going to be a question to you.
No, we do not. But we'll do some research on that and see. I mean, the man did fund the Legion of Doom. I'm just saying.
Like, come on, there has to be some.
While Batman funded the Justice, like there's a wealth disparagement in the DC universe.
It sounds like it's just the 1% fighting each other.
Right.
It sounds like the 1% are just bored, so we're gonna fight.
Oh wow!
According to Google,
the underwater base at a space station.
Right.
According to Google, Lex Luthor's net worth is $75 billion.
Oh, that's a big number, but it's not a trillion.
Yeah,
It's not a
It's
trillion.
not.
No, it's not a trillion.
I mean, but Batman he had a watch tower commissioned. It was like, hey, here's the base of operations.
So Jeff Bezos is Lex Luthor. Elon Musk is Batman.
Oh my goodness.
Who's gonna be our Superman? Don't say anything, Jeff.
Well, it can't be a billionaire because
Can't be.
No, it can't. Like, who's gonna be our Superman?
I have no idea.
you know what? Let's throw that out to the audience. In a world
no
where
idea.
Jeff Bezos is Lex Luthor and Elon Musk is Bruce Wayne, who is Superman? And then our final quick topic.
Someone gonna say Keanu Reeves.
Okay. No. Okay. I'm down with that.
So
Go John Wick. Let's go.
our final quick topic. We talked a little bit about the fact that EA's contract was finally coming to an end. That long-standing exclusive deal they had with the NFL to make the only licensed football game, Madden, for years and years and years, was finally coming to an end. Forget all that noise because they just re-signed a deal for an additional 6 years. So apparently 2K does have the right to make a non-NFL football game. Like, so that's coming, but like the last time they did that, like, it wasn't well received. Like, people like the license. Like, that's kind of what makes a football game feel authentic and get paid attention to.
Yeah, there's no point of being able to make a football game that doesn't have real people in it.
Right.
What if they put the NLF, the National League of Football?
Just make a whole parody game. That could work. If they just really just make it one off from everything. People might check that out. That would be funny.
Just switch all the names around.
To the XFL.
XFL.
What if they did? Well, I mean, XFL's not like.
But they got arena football.
But people don't care about arena football.
Yeah, not in the slightest.
Nobody cared about
Same
that.
with like roller derby. You know what I mean? Like, there's no roller derby video games that are.
There is
really
a roller
hitting the
derby
street-
video game
that are really hitting the streets on a regular basis.
There's a bikini roller derby game.
That part,
Why
right?
do you know that?
Jeff said, "Why do you not?"
Anyway, those were our quick update topics. We're gonna get into our more substantial ones. First up, Jeff, what you got for us in the comic space?
So if you're familiar with the recent animated movie, The Spider-Verse, which Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, Peter's daughter from the future, can't remember her name, something Mako, something like that. They're actually thinking about doing it looks like it's already in the works. They already spoke to the three actors, if you're not familiar with, Tobey Maguire, Garfield, you got
Andrew Garfield,
Andrew Garfield, and you got
Tom Holland.
Yes, so they're going to be working on a live action Spider-Verse movie.
Is that confirmed? Because I just want to point out this story is from comicbook.com, and I tend not to like news from them. they really report on a lot of rumor and speculation before like concrete stuff comes out.
The one I'm looking at, I am on we got this covered.com.
Yeah, they're worse. We got this covered. They're way worse in terms of like movie stuff.
Supposedly they're in the talks. There's been nothing concrete yet. It would play to a little bit of what they've been trying to do with that particular universe. There is a Madam Web spinoff movie coming.
Okay.
From Fox or Sony Pictures?
I believe it's from Sony.
Yeah, because they still have like the
Madam
Rogues
Web,
Gallery.
Yeah, Madam Web is part of the whole Spider-Man mythos. With if you remember from the animated series, she was actually the one responsible for the first Spider-Verse incident with the armored spider. And
oh my god, I love that show. That is like my favorite Spider-Man thing. That's why I fell in love with that character. That's like that show is why Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character.
Amazing. And
so, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Just another point was you also have the Michael Morbius movie coming out as well, which is another part included into that shared universe.
Okay, I have a question for y'all, especially Sigma and Jeff, because you guys love Spider-Man. It seems like to a certain degree. Who is your favorite Spider-Man actor? Is it Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, or Tom Holland? Which one best? Not like 100%. Which one best embodied the Spider-Man that you love?
For me, it was Andrew Garfield. I think he had the quick humor, the attitude. He felt more like Spider-Man. To me, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was new, it was fresh because we hadn't seen it, so it was great. But to me, I don't feel like he fit the Peter Parker that I knew. Because if you remember the animated series, Peter was always talking trash.
It's true. My man did not shut up ever.
No.
So I like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies a lot, but like after time has passed, yes, his Spider-Man is a little too whiny. Like he's kind of like it's off-putting how pathetic they made him, because it seemed like the writers heard like, oh, Spider-Man's nerdy when he's not in the suit. And then they just really never got away from that. They just went like, oh, he's a nerd. He's going to be a nerd no matter what. So, I mean, I love those movies. But yeah, honestly, I feel like no matter how good Andrew Garfield himself might have been in those movies, the rest of the plot just makes that not feel like Spider-Man to me. So I'm actually a big Tom Holland fan. I feel like they nailed his, like, the balance perfectly, because like in just like in the cartoon, Peter Parker was a nerd. Like he was, into all this science stuff, but he was also like, even when he wasn't in the suit, he would have smart things to say to people. Like he would talk back to Flash Thompson. He just couldn't openly like fight him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't running around getting beat up either, though.
Exactly, right. Like he wasn't a pushover.
Yeah,
and like I never get that sense from Tom Holland. Like people try to bully him, but he'll say something back or he'll ignore them, like because it doesn't. And like he gets girls like of his own, like he's not a loser.
Spider-Man was the way he dealt with trauma and the way he evolved as a hero. It wasn't always just. I don't feel like Tom Holland has gone through that. Yeah, he died basically and came back, but there wasn't.
Homecoming was describing exactly what you're talking about.
Well, for me, what I mean is that metamorphosis from realizing what kind of hero he needed to be. Like Uncle Ben was always a staple in the Spider-Man mythos, where his decisions to ignore that wrestler at the match who went on to rob the place, went on to kill Uncle Ben, and his thirst for revenge to realize that That's not the type of person he wanted to be, and the what Uncle Ben instilled in him. It's kind of the same thing with Superman. What his earthly parents instilled in him is what made him who he was. Not what he could do, but the character and the morals that they installed in him is what made him the hero that he needed to be. They haven't explored that part with Tom Holland. I mean, you
they legitimately skipped it.
Yeah, you talk, and I guess it's because it's been done so much.
Yeah, that has to be. That's what I would guess is the reason.
But they haven't touched it. Like you meet Aunt May, but what has Aunt May done? Like, she's not really included into any of that. It's more of a he's in high school.
Does she have to be though?
I mean, traditionally she has. I mean, even the video game,
Right.
you deal with Aunt May. She's running a shelter downtown and helping the less fortunate.
Yeah, they did really push that character to the side. She's not as involved in his life and stuff, like, because he's off doing other stuff, and like they really just did insert Tony Stark as a mentor person that he looks up to in place of Aunt May or Uncle Ben or any of that. So I get that.
I can see that,
but still, I those movies I feel like are quality, and they did skip to the part to where he's just heroing. But I feel like that's fine because they do keep rebooting that character so often. Like it has not at all been a long time. Yeah, like I mean, this is another tangent. But like,
the movies are better, the villains are better. But as far as him being a better Peter Parker, I'm on the road with that. But the villains are better, the story's better, obviously the costumes are better. I mean, if you remember how Shocker looked, being played by Jamie Foxx, just looked. I mean, Electro, he just looked ridiculous.
That was bad.
Thought it was cool.
He looked like an eel.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool effect.
So I mean, this is a slight tangent, but it'll probably help us jump into our next topic. But this new Robert Pattinson Batman movie that's coming out, as many Batman movies as there've been, like, Jeff, would you feel the same way if they kind of skipped and I know they're not going to do it because I already heard rumors about what they're planning to do, but would you be okay if they skipped the whole Bruce Wayne's parents die scene because they show it in everything?
I feel like they could touch on it without physically showing it, but kind of always use it as a reference point. But I feel like it's one of those things that's too important. Once again, why did he become Batman? Is because of that event. So it's cause and effect. You can't have the effect without the cause. So I don't think they physically have to show it.
But I mean, we know it happened. Yeah, we know, but we know it happened. Yeah. And the world knows it happened.
Yeah.
So like,
but you gotta think about it. There's still a percentage of people who might this might be their first introduction to Batman.
That's weird.
So I feel like
weird.
other people could talk about it, like, no, he's actually come pretty far since his parents died. They could be touched on in different ways without actually showing it. But I don't think it could be ignored altogether or completely excluded.
But I mean, to that effect, I don't think they did that in the Tom Holland movies. No. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't rewrite it. Whereas there was that incident never happened.
We don't know if there was an Uncle Ben or not.
Yes, we do. What are you talking about?
I don't remember no Uncle Ben.
Wow. All right. Well, talking about DC. Our next topic is actually a parody comic called True League, and apparently, it's a.
No, keep going.
Yeah, it's a. Keep going. Like the whole. Oh yeah, there it goes. So it's basically a parody comic. You got Trill Robin. Was it Black Man is the Batman counterpart?
Black Mane,
Superman,
Wondisha.
So it's all like kind of ghetto-fied black versions of Justice League heroes or whatnot. And am I blanking on Anthony Piper is the artist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he's been trying to get this made into a show for some time now. Like back when I was doing my lag discussion videos, this was included when I was kind of highlighting a bunch of just black anime series because he was in talks with Adult Swim, but eventually they passed on the show.
I remember that exact promotion that you were doing because I was actually talking to him at that time too. And I helped him with his Kickstarter. I did some donations and stuff like that. And I was trying to link him up with some of my folks in LA. And eventually that's when he did the Adult Swim meeting. And unfortunately, that got turned down.
Yeah, Adult Swim passed on the idea. So luckily, 50 Cent
skipped on a gem, bro.
And the G Unit TV production company that he owns, they did whatever that show is that everybody likes, Power.
Power.
Apparently, they did For Life too, the one from
right. Yeah. That new series. What is that on Fox?
Yeah.
So apparently they jumped in and they're gonna make a animated version of Trill League for Quibi, that new kind of 10-minute, 15-minute TV show platform. Like, I've been seeing a ton of commercials for Quibi with like big celebrities.
Like
I want to talk about that in a second. But I gotta say, I want to back it up a little bit. I kind of disagree with what you said. I wouldn't say that. Fortunately, 50 Cent picked this up.
I mean, because it's 50 Cent or who else?
No. So that's the thing, right? I'm happy that it was picked up. Yes, but 50 Cent is a pretty problematic dude.
I mean,
as of recently. So,
like, but problematic in what way? Like, in terms of his TV production, or like in his personal life? Like, which way do you mean?
In his personal life.
Because his show Power, even though I don't like that show at all, it has been very popular. Like, people like the show. People have been fans of it. I haven't seen For Life yet, but the premise actually seems really good. So hopefully that is another show that's, successful. Like, if he can pick good projects like this that are geared towards, black audiences, I feel like that's a win. Like, despite whatever 50's doing on the side.
So that's why I'm cautiously optimistic. That's why I wanted to say, fortunately, he picked it up. I'd be like, okay, he picked it up. I hope he does this story justice. I don't want to be too happy.
He's just putting money into it, right? Like, it's not like 50 is. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, how does 50 kind of go into these projects and say, "Oh, I want it to be this. I want it to be that." Like, I doubt it, because he's not necessarily a director.
But he's putting up the money. He can do what
because he's an entrepreneur. Like, that's what he does. Like, he's put his money into all sorts of things and been pretty profitable at it. Like, the guy is a mogul. Like, you got to give him respect for definitely.
That. But if he says something like he wants some creative control on this, you know what I mean?
I mean, but that
he wants to.
That's speculation, because we don't know one way or the other. Of course,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm hoping that he doesn't have creative control on this. Granted, the morals that I've seen in his personal life.
But I mean, on that note, if 50 Cent did have creative control over this particular subject matter, would that be such a bad thing? Because 50 is a real life troll. Like, he's done some ridiculous, like, publicity type stunts. I know. And for lack of a better word, they are funny. Like, the dude is hilarious.
Petty.
It's very petty.
Well, super petty.
But I feel like that is kind of in the vein of Trill League. Like, it is a show about not villains, but like superhero characters who are mocking pop culture.
Pop culture and today's social issues too. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that they talk about there. But what were you going to say, Jeff?
Just a little history. This isn't the first time that there has been a black-centric comic world, if you so to say. If you remember, Static Shock actually originated with I'm trying to remember the name, Milestone Comics. It was a spinoff of DC Comics. Mm-hmm. They created Static Shock, Icon. There was there were
Icon's psychic's name is, like,
Rocket Hardware. There was Skybox. There was a few other ones. It was called the Dakotaverse. Mm-hmm. It was actually all black comics, all black characters. It was very controversial because, if I remember the story correctly, they were doing a comic cover. Now, they were censored by DC with certain stuff. The founder actually wanted to do a comic book cover about teen pregnancy, where they had like condoms on the front and stuff like that. They were told that was too niche. They couldn't do it. So they submitted one version of the comic that didn't have that. It was ordered to print. At the last minute, they switched it to the version with the stuff on the front. Thus causing DC to pull their funding, and potentially is what led to their downfall. But they had like a whole universe built around that touched on African American issues, teen pregnancy.
I think that was the Icon series with his sidekick, because I think that was her situation, if I remember correctly. But yeah, those stories were actually really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Trill League thing is
different. Yeah,
yeah, it's
like
less. Yeah, it's
parody,
it's basically it's counterparts for the Justice League as you know them, but like a black version. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of what this is going for, parody wise.
Most definitely.
But the comics, like they deal with pop culture. Like Drake makes appearances in them.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like the character Trill Robin walks across like a bunch of kids who are dressed like Naruto characters.
Yeah. They got what's that little Terrio? What's that kid name?
I think it's little Terrio, the overweight kid who was like dancing and whatever on Vine.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's like one of his. I wouldn't even say best friends, but he hangs out with him the most, and that is just a bad kid. Like, like he is very scary. But yeah, this show is hilarious. Or this show, it's gonna be a show. This comic is hilarious. There's all kinds of crazy parodies and really good action, actually. And it's just really funny with their whole fighting the man and what the man looks like. And we'll get into that later.
So that's really cool. Hopefully we'll get to see it. I don't know if anybody's planning on subscribing to Quibi, but to be honest, some of the shows I've seen on there look interesting.
I'm gonna check it out because Reno 911 is coming back on Quibi.
Oh wow,
bro! Like they're all older now, and they still look ridiculous.
That's kind of crazy.
I have to at least check it out. There's at least gonna be a trial period with my email address on it, or one of my other, trial email addresses.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from that series to another series coming to streaming services. Gamer, what you got?
What we possibly might be having is Kingdom Hearts, and I am not okay. Sorry. Absolutely, positively, with no hint of exaggeration in my voice, hated Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's why I knew to give you this topic.
One of the YouTubers who I've actually met and have had a conversation with, Gerard the Completionist.
Oh, I've watched some of his stuff.
Has finished Kingdom Hearts 3. And to be honest with you, I was surprised that he didn't just rip it to pieces. Because here's the thing. If they wanted a Kingdom Hearts live action series, just have the people play the game. It's basically the same thing. There is no actual action in that game. You might as well just be holding forward on the joystick and occasionally hit the X button. And occasionally you'll have Sora complain, Donald and Goofy coming out, being, the intelligent one out of everyone. Hey, Sora, why don't we go over there? I'm like, oh my goodness. And then it's like that every single world. Like, let's get to Elsa's world. Oh man, it's cold. What do you think it was going to be? Like, what else did you expect?
This game hurt you.
This game hurt because you. I waited so long. I waited so long to be so disappointed. So when I looked at this story, and I'm like, okay, so they're trying to have a series, not a movie. They want to have an actual legitimate series. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have watched shows that I did not think could actually have a whole series created about them, and I actually really loved it. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Okay, let's see what they... And Castlevania, though. I cannot watch Castlevania while I'm eating. I just can't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
No, it's... So I'm looking at this, and I'm just like... Technically speaking, 3, by the way, 3 also had to have redacted DLC to fix its redacted story. So now you're telling me that you're going to try to have a series based off of that? Yeah, I'll wait till that hits the wiki. I'm not even. I'm sorry. I have
so
absolutely
you're not excited at all about
I'm not excited. Like, I am happy. I am happy about the fact that there's going to be a younger generation who will hopefully look at this game and be like, okay, I don't understand anything that's going on here because nothing was actually explained well in this game. So I'm going to go play the first several, because it can't be just the first one or two, because then you have Rebirth, you have all these other games in between that. Mm-hmm. Give me a series around that, not 3. Give me a TV series before Sora became a whiny little piece of crap, and the only thing that he wanted to do was just find Riku and Kairi. I'm just like, oh my god, you have nothing to yourself, and I want you to fall off the cliff at the end of the world and just don't stop falling.
So this is confirmed to be a series around Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, I don't think they're focusing on any particular game. My best guess is that they're gonna retell the whole story. So from 1 through all the extra little side stories, and then the conclusion at some point, maybe season 10, 8, 11, however long it takes them to get there. Yeah. So, I mean, but what do you think is the possibility of this maybe fixing a lot of what's been wrong with the Kingdom Hearts story up till now?
Well, but the thing is, the DLC, the Remind DLC, was supposed to have fixed that.
And it didn't?
No, it did not. It took a piece of plywood over a pothole and called it fixed. They just put something over on top, but all of the questions under that, like the Keyblade, like, so there's Keyblades, and then there is the actual, like, the Alpha, the Omega, the Keyblade that somehow is the most powerful Keyblade of this Keyblade War, which we don't necessarily still have all of that, but we do have the origin of Xehanort, we do have the origin of Ansem, and all this.
And that's French.
Yeah, and
some language.
So like we have all of this, and the reason that I believe it's going to be heavily focused on 3 is because they're also going to be getting the same actors as 3.
Okay.
So I firmly believe that this is going to be in the style of how 3 looks. I do believe they will go back to Destiny Islands and everything like that. But unfortunately, I'm going to sound like this guy on the internet. I know that the Sora that I experienced when I played Kingdom Hearts, the first one on the PS2, is not going to be the Kingdom Hearts that is not going to be the Sora that I'm going to see from this. So I'm calming down as I say this. I will try my best to go into this hopeful, but similarly, I have the same reservations as when we talked about the Borderlands movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What part are they actually going to go over? Because there's Trinity links, there's the whole thing with the Dalmatians, there's the uselessness of every single world, of every single area with Atlantica. Like Atlantica in the second game, don't even that. Does anyone know who I'm talking about?
I know, yeah. It was terrible.
It was like, why didn't it was like this could have been a mobile game. Why is this here on this disc? Why is this here? And I have to do this perfectly so I can get a piece of Orichalcum Plus so that I can make the ultimate weapon? You're kidding me. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. To make a very short answer to your very short question, this is going to be bad, and they should probably feel bad. Sorry.
And does anyone else have thoughts on the Kingdom Hearts TV?
I hope it's good so I can see the whole story, because I played a couple of them. But
just read the wiki.
I feel like that's a worse version to like try to read a wiki that just gives you like an info dump on what happened. Like I feel like I'd never be able to follow that.
The leaderboard actually has a really good video on YouTube that covers the history of the timeline of Kingdom Hearts. They do a great job of kind of covering everything.
Okay.
Is it like a dude talking?
Is it like the badly drawn one?
No, it's actually pretty good. They do a lot of history.
Okay, I have to find that because I have had on my recommended, like, Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts plot in a nutshell, and I'm like, you're gonna need a really big shell.
Yeah,
because
leaderboard, I think it's like
terrible.
45 minutes long. They have one for They have one for Kingdom Hearts 2. There's one for The Witcher. There's one for Red Dead.
I think I might have watched the Castlevania one.
The Castlevania one, yep, was really good.
Yep. Okay, so we are talking about different ones because yes, it is much better. Okay, I'll definitely give that a look.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna move on to our final topic. Blue, what you got for us on the console front?
Not too much, but just a little bit of news. New PS4 games must also run on PlayStation 5 from July, Sony tells the developers. So they're saying, hey, this time, when you make stuff from July 13th on, it needs to be compatible with PS5. Ain't no just PS4 code no more. All right? Y'all, we should have been on this a long time ago, but we on it now.
Yeah.
I added that last part, but
that time period is pretty hilarious to me.
I think it's a little late to be saying this.
When does, because I'm looking it up right now actually, when does Ghost of Tsushima release? July 17th.
So yes. So Ghost of Tsushima right now they're saying it will not specifically need to be PlayStation 5 forward compatible because of all the rules and stipulations that Sony already put out. Right now, there's no obligation for the developers of Ghost of Tsushima to make it PS5 compatible.
But they're a first-party studio, so I cannot imagine that they will not do that.
Exactly. That's what everyone's saying. But according to the rules right now that's laid out. Now, Sony also did say that they were going to contact every studio individually on their standards for the up-res, if you will. So, yeah, all they're saying is in this article is they got to pass all the tests. It has to run exactly the same with the same features that the PS4 has on the PS5.
So here's why this seems to be problematic. They're telling developers to do extra work.
Yep.
Like whatever games that they're making. Yeah, I mean, not from Sony at least. They like just to have for Sony to give them the okay, I guess, to release the game. Period. From that point forward, they're saying also make it run on our next thing. That's kind of messed up. Like, and that's we're in a rush. Like, who knows how, like, the quality of it, like, they're saying they're going to give people standards, but, like, different development studios have different ways of doing things, different levels of investment, different monetary constraints. I don't think we're going to get just perfect ports to the next thing from every one of these games after that date. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, they said that, and this is the problem now, right? If they can't get a perfect port, right, which is what Sony is requiring, something that runs with no bugs. This is quote, runs with no okay, unquote that. It's no bugs, right? If it messes up, it is not gonna be allowed to release. So the problem is now, can I release this game I've been working on for years?
So they're blocking the release of it even on the PS4 if it won't run on the PS5 after that date?
They're saying, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So they're saying they all have to be forward compatible. They all have to be forward compatible. I don't know, and I'm sure they have been made aware of individual studios that have specific hardships and what have you. But I also haven't seen anything in this article saying that, and this is from Eurogamer.net, by the way. Mm-hmm. This is I haven't seen anything saying that Sony was going to help studios get up to date.
Right. They're just going to give them the rules.
They're like, oh, we forgot to tell you.
You need to come in on Saturday. And why don't you also come in on Sunday?
Yeah, Kate, thanks, bye.
Oh, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's another thing then.
Yeah.
Because I read the article, but it was a couple of days ago, so I don't remember if this was mentioned. Mm-hmm. Do they mean like the physical disc or the actual save, like the, what do you call it? Like the license that you buy if you get it digitally, for example. If you get that on the PS4,
would you then port it over to the PS5?
Like, is that the game that they're saying needs to run on the PS5? Or would you just be able to have access to the PS5 version? Or are they two different things? Like saying, I have a PS5, I don't want to buy anything on my PS4, I'll buy this PS4 game on my PS5.
Yeah, so that is a little that wasn't very clear in the article. But what I will say is they did talk about, they said a game will be deemed compatible with PS5 only if its submission code runs without issues on Sony's next-gen machine and provides the same features on PS5 as it does PS4. So this submission code seems specific to PS5 that they're going to need to submit with this forward compatibility. So I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a tall order.
Yeah, it's just like there are bad ways to like do forward compatibility. And this is like one of them. This is a bad way to do forward compatibility. Like it's putting stress on the devs.
So late in the game.
It's so late. And it also seems like, at least for now, we don't have a clear understanding of how this translates to consumers. Because if you buy this on your PS4 and then you get a PS5, can you just play it on the next thing? Is that what they're saying? Or is like they haven't spelled that out as far as I can tell. So I don't know. This seems
super late with
like,
that.
Like a fumble.
Yeah. Seems like they're trying to scramble to contend with the backwards compatibility issues or forward compatibility issues, and this is what they came up with.
We also the pre-order page for the Xbox Series X is available.
Oh, really?
Wait, you can?
Yes. Now nothing's there, but just the fact like the page is available. So I think honestly,
that is the
I feel
spark of hype, sir.
Well, no, and I think that was what Xbox did on purpose. They were just like, so Sony released this. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have people bookmark this page that doesn't even have anything on it yet. That way, the moment that they drop something, boom, it's just already right there. You got go get pre-order.
You think it was strategic?
I do.
But I mean, Xbox did have its own kind of forward compatibility news as well.
Yeah, the smart switch or smart something like that, where basically whatever, like you could play Cyberpunk 2070 Cyberpunk game on the Xbox One X and
then just basically upgrade without hassle to the next gen version of it. But more specifically, they basically said that the Series X can add HDR and 120 frame per second support to older games. So like the fact that they have games that aren't made for the next console,
and the console can
playing them on the new console will actually add features to them. Like not devs will add features to them, the console will. They don't have to do anything. Like,
what you got, Sony?
This is what they got. Sony just told us what they got.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh no! Like it's like these are night and day approaches to the exact same issue.
Now, this is the thing. We just gotta. A lot of this is talk and theory, of course, right? But when this final product comes out, we need to remember all this news that's been released, all the statements that they make, and make sure that we are that we're subscribing to something that's going to come out. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of claims left and right, and we've seen it in the past where they say, "Oh, this is gonna happen." You buy the console, that
and
never
it doesn't
happen.
happen. Yeah, and I will note that the Verge article that Microsoft story comes from, they state that Microsoft doesn't say how they're going to achieve the HDR and upped frame rates, but it is something that has happened in the past. Apparently, they did it to Mirror's Edge on Xbox One X. Like they were able to up-res it in after the fact. Like the devs didn't have to do anything. So if they're saying it's something that they can do, they've done it in the past. Like I'm inclined to believe that. But
I feel you.
On Sony's end, they're saying this is what we want to happen, and the developers have to make it happen.
Yeah, no, that's. I feel a little disrespectful.
And then like they also kind of hold them ransom. like if you can't make it happen, then we won't release your game. Like the regular one, not even this version that we're asking for. Like that seems insane.
I mean, hopefully these development studios knew about this a long time ago.
Like before we heard this
hopefully
announcement, right?
They had they had a heads up, and they know, okay, we either need to stop this project now or start working on this other part right now. Hopefully years ago they knew about this, but first word we're hearing about it, and hopefully it wasn't for them too.
Well, anything else on these forward compatible stories from Sony and Microsoft? If not, we're going to go ahead and move into our mailbag. You can also send in questions to BBETGaming at BBETGaming@gmail.com. We have a question from my lovely significant other, Keeks, she goes by. It's a very serious question, so we're going to just jump right into it. She says, "Hi, BBET team. In light of the current climate and as 4 black men, I was wondering if any of you guys have ever had the unfortunate experience of being targeted by the police or anyone else for no other reason than being black." She also adds, "Stay safe." So,
thank you, Ms. Keeks, for the question. Thank you for the well wishes. Yeah, staying safe for sure.
She let me know she was going to send this in, so I had a little bit of time to think about a specific issue. Okay. So if you don't mind, I'll just go first. I'll just stick to one because, there's been multiple different things, but this one particular issue sticks out to me because looking back on it, it can be seen as kind of comical, especially amongst my group of people that this happened to us. But I used to be a stepper from my fraternity. As you can see, like my big pal back here, we were No Mercy Step Company. Back in the day, we would practice at Rutgers campus, we would practice at the College of New Jersey, and sometimes we would practice near my old stepmaster's house, which was all the way in Philly, just in his neighborhood, right? So we were on the streets in this Philly neighborhood, practicing stepping, like just on like near a corner somewhere that just had like a lot of like spacious sidewalk. We were out there doing our thing, like laughing, joking, yelling at each other, fooling around, practicing. At some point, 2 or 3 police cars roll up and they're like, "What are you guys all doing out here?" And we're trying to explain to them like, "Oh, we're a fraternity. We're all in college. We're part of a step team, and we're practicing for shows or whatever." Didn't believe any of that. They basically told us, "Go ahead and do your routine. You're out here practicing, right? Go ahead and do your routine." So we literally had to dance for these police officers to prove that we were out there doing what we said we were doing and not whatever else they thought a bunch of young black kids out on a nice day were doing. Like, I don't know what, like, we weren't hurting anybody. We were amongst ourselves. Like, there were a lot of us, but I mean, it was kind of demeaning, but, we took it in stride in the moment. Like, we still look back at it. Like, we said, "Oh, remember we had to dance for our freedom?" Like, that's kind of how we refer to the incident.
Boy,
it's sad that that's so common.
I am uncomfortable.
Like, but I mean, that's that.
Yeah, no. It's the question. It's just I'm listening and I'm just like,
That story reminds me of I'm sure you've seen the 5 Heartbeats, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they had got them outside the bus. And it's like, "Oh, you're singers, huh? How about you guys?"
Yeah. Exactly. Like Like who did these cops think like we weren't being disrespectful? Like there was no complaint as far as I'm aware of. Like if there was a noise complaint, you could have let us know. That they didn't say that. They didn't say, "Oh, you guys are being loud" or whatever. They just came and said, "What are y'all doing?" And then basically made us prove it to them as if our word and our civility wasn't enough. So that's my contribution to this particular question. What do you guys have?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
As many of you listeners know, I served in the Navy for 6 years. One of my duty stations was Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Sorry, I'm still like thinking about your story, bro.
No, it's cool.
I used to work 13-hour shifts at a submarine communications center, and a lot of times we're either going home at 5 a.m. in the morning, or going to work at 5 a.m. in the morning. But sometimes we take lunch breaks, and because when we do our night shifts, our lunch breaks are at like 2:00 in the morning, and so we drive out, grab something. Sometimes we go home if we have like 30 minutes and go back, depending on where we live. But anyway, I lived 15 minutes from base at the time, so I had a lunch at home. I was just gonna go eat it and go back. I was in uniform, got pulled over right around the corner from my house. Officer asked me where I was going. I said, "Hey, look, I'm in uniform. I'm in the I'm in the Navy. I work at the Pearl Harbor. I'm just going home for lunch real quick." And now, granted, there's close to nobody on the street at 2:00 in the morning. Nobody was speeding. I wasn't bumping music, nothing like that. Just going home, relaxing. And he's grilling me about my command and who my chain of command was and where I actually lived and everything like that. And then he made me get out the car and do a sobriety test. He asked me if I was drunk. I said, "I have not been drinking." And I did the walk. He checked my eyes, and he put me back in the car and told me not to wander around and just go straight home and work. And it's like, you never know if you're going home when you get pulled over, bro. You never know.
You being in uniform. Like, did he think you were like trying to fool him?
Bro,
I think you're trying to get over
it, right? Something.
Who would go to that trouble?
Yo, now I'm not saying that there's not problematic sailors out there. Of course there are, right? But there was nothing about my behavior that was problematic. There was nothing about my speech that implied that I was drunk, or nothing about the smell of nothing indicated that I was drinking or I was a problem.
But he wanted you to be a problem because
he tried everything.
Yeah, he saw you driving around at night. No need to bother you. You weren't breaking it. Like, you had your seatbelt on, I'm sure.
Not doing a thing. Everything.
But he needed to pull you over because you didn't look right to him. I'm sure. Then he gets a closer look, sees you're in uniform. Well, even though he's in uniform and it makes sense that he'd be out here, he's still got to be doing something wrong, right? Get out of the car. Prove to me.
And when you're in that situation, you're not thinking about, oh, what this dude's doing is illegal. Oh, let me get his badge number. You're not thinking about that.
And honestly, as a black dude, you don't really have those options. Like, the way other people can just yell at a cop and curse them out the whole time they're getting a ticket written for them. No, you can't do that. You have to be civil. You have to be polite. You got to respect their command because they'll escalate it. Like, just because I get heated because you're aggressing me or false accusing me or whatnot, and that's a natural response, and I'm a civilian, the second I do something that makes them feel uneasy, they escalate it to the point of no return. Like, and it's coming. It's a possibility, so you got to always keep your fuse as long as possible.
I think this is going to be an excellent segue into my story because a gun was actually involved, more specifically a pump action shotgun to my face. I was doing computer work in the south side of Chicago, and it was just a simple, hey, my computer's running slow. All right. I parents took me over there. They were like, okay, I'll let you know when everything's going to be ready. Next thing you know, bang, bang, bang on their door because I'm at their apartment. And I had no idea what was going on. I'm here paid to fix a computer. That's all I care about. So I ignore that. But then I see like everyone else like either like go into like bedrooms or kitchens and things like that. But again, I'm just here to fix this computer. Next thing you know, the door is like slammed open, like just like off the hinges on the ground, open. And I hear people yelling like, "Freeze! Everyone, don't move!" So obviously, what's the first thing that I did? I moved. I ran to the nearest closet. The closet door was just yanked open, and I was looking down the barrel of the pump action shotgun as the police officer. She, and I remember her face, she just kept looking at me like, get on the ground, put your hands, hands where I could see them, hands behind your back. I was zip tied, not handcuffed, and zip ties are much worse. And once they had figured out that I wasn't indeed part of this, they kind of just tried to laugh about it, tried to, I guess, make the situation lighter by asking me like, oh, hey, what were you doing? Or, we could use some of that stuff at the precinct. Like this is kind of what they were saying to me. Now, mind you, I'm still zip tied. I'm just sitting on the couch now while these still armed person, and I just recently learned what like trigger discipline was. Like I didn't know what that was back then, but I know what it is now. And thinking about it, I don't even know if they were practicing that. All I know is at one moment I had the biggest gun I had ever seen in my life pointed at my face, and then the person behind that gun laughing while I'm still tied up, trying to just make the situation better for, I'm assuming, themselves.
So they just bust in, they just knocked. There was no police, there was no boom, boom, boom police. It was just knocks and then bust through the door.
Knocks and bust through the door.
See, they're supposed to identify themselves when entering any type of residence.
There's a lot of things they're supposed to do.
So
like,
at the time, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, did you ever find out like why, like what was their reasoning for busting in there? Like what were the residents actually doing there?
So it turns out that the person who I was doing computer work for had a warrant out for their arrest. I didn't know that. There's no reason for me to know that.
Right.
But the thing that sticks with me, and there's unique points to Blue and Sigma's thing, is how little my life mattered at that point, because all it would have taken was just one pull of that trigger, and then I would just be dead, and that would just be it. And that's scary, because unfortunately I'm watching other videos online of interactions of people, basically of white people having interactions with police, where the white person clearly has a gun and the police officer has not escalated to that point. But I was right there, unarmed.
Clearly did not have a gun.
Scared, like tears running down my face, like, oh crap, I'm going to die here. And then that police officer, like, you are so powerless in that situation. And I have no idea what it would take to have the mental fortitude to think, oh, let me get this information from this police officer so I can try and do something. All I'm thinking about is, I want to get out of here right now. I want to leave. And obviously, they had to ask me questions, get my information. And mind you, I was still I was still zip tied after all the explanation of no, I don't know who these people are. No, all I'm trying to do, and they obviously searched my bag, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, they don't give a crap about that. Like it was just dumped, like book bag unzipped, dumped right there. You are so powerless, and you are so scared, and you just don't know what to. You are just. It sucks to say it this way, but this is just the best way for me to explain it. Unfortunately, you are just at their mercy, and it is, and that's it, and it sucks.
What you got, Jeff?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, this goes back to when I worked for Family Dollar. I worked in Bronx, and I lived in North Bergen. So we, have to catch the light rail to the PATH train, then the PATH train to the city, and then the subway to work. So the light rail I would catch like every day. I worked like 6 days a week. So one day I was on my way home from work, was on the light rail, and I got a call from my assistant manager. He was like, "Hey, I forgot my keys home." Well, you forgot your keys, so he can't close the building without his keys. So he can't lock up the store. He can't leave to go get it because he's the only manager there. So I just had got off the light rail. Now the light rail tickets, they work where you buy it and it lasts for 2 hours. So, if I'm going somewhere, I can hop on and use the same ticket to come back. So I got off the one going home. I was getting back on the one going back towards the city. So I got back on, and maybe like 2 stops in, the transit police get on. They ask for everybody's tickets. I'm like, okay. So I go pull my ticket, and I got a bunch of tickets because I catch it every day. So I have a bunch of them in my wallet. So I'm all right. So then they're like, well, we can't wait for you to find it. We need you to get off real quick. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So I got off. I got my ticket. I found it. I'm like, well, here you go. Here's my ticket so I can get back on and go to work. I was like, oh no, we need you to sit down. I'm like, well, what do you need me to sit down for? You wanted my ticket. Here's my ticket. It's like, well, now we need you to sit down. I'm like, well, I'm not sitting down. Here's my ticket, and I'm getting back on. I don't know what to tell you. I'm heading back to work. So then I got my ticket in one hand and my wallet in the other. The transit police is like 4 of them. They surround me. Then there's like Jersey City police. The police came, like 3 of them. So they bum rushed me. I got my ticket in one hand, the wallet in the other one, not doing nothing. So they bum rushed me and they're trying to take me down. So then they finally wrestled me to the ground. I wasn't resisting or nothing, because I just kept the same stuff in my hand the whole time. So they handcuffed me. Once they handcuffed me, then they maced me. So after they maced me, put me in the back of the transit police car. So I get to the transit police station. They wind up writing me a ticket for not having a ticket, and resisting arrest. So I go to court, and I printed out the statements that show that I bought a ticket at this time. So it shows that I bought a ticket, and 2 hours from now I would have still been active from when the incident happened. So I get to court. I had to get a lawyer. Got a lawyer. So they set a trial date. The attorney asked for discovery for the video from the transit station from what happened. So we go back to court. I get to court, and all of a sudden they can't find my case. Case isn't in the system. There's like, I knew you were just here. I don't know what happened to the case. There's no charges anywhere.
Are you kidding me?
So the attorney asked him if he could still petition to get the tape. He said, well, because there's no case, there was no crime, I can't motion for discovery.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was arrested, but there was ever no charges, no nothing. They just disappeared.
that's so blatant. Like, they harassed you, and I remember when you told me this story.
Yeah,
like
it
a
was
while
like,
back.
oh, he didn't want to sit down. He must have something on him. So he was checking my pockets that I had drugs or something on me. It was like, oh, he didn't want to sit down. He has to have something in his pockets.
Like, it's like the suspicion that they have, like the fact that they're inconveniencing you is an inconvenience to them. Like, they knew they were wrong, and then they hid it. They don't own up to the fact that, oh, all right, well, we overreacted, or I was looking for something else, and like, no, like, you're doing wrong. Like, they're flat out just doing the wrong things. Like, I don't like, there's no other word for that other than, like, what, obstruction of justice, like, just corruption. Like, you delete evidence, you deny evidence to the fact that you're doing this kind of stuff. Like, what is that?
Yo, we were just trying to live our lives. We were all just trying to live our lives in one capacity or another. I was on break from work. Gamer was trying to get some work done. Right? Sigma was practicing with his college buddies. Jeff was being a responsible workman, manager. And we got interrupted just for being there. Think about that. I urge our listeners to think about that. Think about that.
Because in every single one of those scenarios, things could have escalated, and in some of them they did unnecessarily. But in so many of these scenarios, people that look like us just don't get out of it okay. Like,
you have people, oh, man, I was just talking to my friend about it the other day too. There is no safe place for us right now. We have been killed and shot in our homes because, oh, I thought it was my house. The man, George Floyd, was accused of using a counterfeit $20 bill. That's how that all started. To buy cigarettes
situation for fake money.
It was real.
Possibly.
That's the worst part.
Of course,
real.
Of course it was.
They
who the hell has counterfeit money?
Who the heck has a counterfeit $20 bill that they're gonna use on cigarettes?
Isn't that the Secret Service's jurisdiction anyway? Like, that's not even a local crime to where the police could possibly do anything besides issue a ticket and escalate it to the Secret Service because they deal with counterfeit bills.
Like, just this unwarranted aggression.
If you're not angry about this and you're angry about rioting, unsubscribe to our channel.
Please, we won't miss you, like, at all. I'll tell you that right now. If you have any kind of excuse,
if you want to talk to me about rioting, talk to me about this first.
I am trying my best because I know that I typically get very animated and I'm very just like, but this I actually had a conversation with my wife. And the reason I had a conversation with my wife is because I had to remove some people from my Facebook page because they were making threats. Because my wife is white. We're in an interracial marriage. And some people had some problems with that. And this, honestly, ain't the first time. Whatever. But it's just right now where... And I'm saying this on the internet so everybody can hear it. I'm just not going to be calm with being scared of trying to live. And the fact that sometimes, and I told my wife this, sometimes I feel like one of the saving graces that I have is because I'm in a car with her. Fuck. Sorry. It's just coming out now.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's like she's driving and I'm in the back and I'm in the passenger seat. Yeah, she drives slower than I do, but a little bit safer. My heart jumps into my throat when I'm driving and police are coming by. Now, mind you, it could be for absolutely nothing, like, oh, sir, tail light out. That's what it could be, but that's not my first thought. It's really not. It is me having my hands 10 and 2 on that wheel and just hoping that I don't become another internet story or just another stupid hashtag, because sometimes that's what I feel it will just devolve into. I would be another hashtag on another shirt or on another memorial wall or on someone's face mask or something like that, because I'm dead. Because my life was valued that little that it was just gone. And the person who took it, administrative leave, internal investigation,
acquitted of all charges,
what have you. But I'm still dead. My wife, my family, all of them, all of my friends and everyone are going to jump in to support that, which I love. But all because of a bad cop. And people keep saying that, oh, it's just bad cops. It's not. It's the entire system. The entire system is broken. The system is working for the people it's supposed to work for. It's not supposed to work for black people. It isn't. It's supposed to work to keep the 1% at the 1%. And we joke like, ha ha ha, but that's what it is. Like, we are working in this system that is working against us. There are people who have been able to break through, don't get me wrong, but it's an outlier and not the norm, and that's the problem.
Yeah, the norm is the boot on our necks. Like, that's the norm. The norm holds us down. And it's not imagined. We didn't make this up. Systemic racism is real.
It's gruesome. It's gruesome that we are not surprised by this. It is gruesome.
Like, within just this month, like the George Floyd situation was like the third of those such stories. Like, this same month. There was the EMT lady who cops busted in their house in the middle of the night without announcing themselves. Got shot and then fired back, killing somebody. And then they arrested the boyfriend.
You got Ahmaud Arbery, who got gunned down while jogging out here in Georgia.
By civilians.
Fam, do you understand that guy? He was an ex-cop, right? He was on the force for decades. He was not up to date on his sensitivity training. He was not up to date on his diversity training, but he was up to date on his arms training. And they let him work so damn long with 18 complaints on his record and mental health issues on his record as well. They said, oh, here's a gun in the badge. He'll be all right. We know him.
And even after he did what he did, they tried to help him. They didn't say, you messed up. You're going to pay for this. You broke the law that we hold so dear. They said,
we need to get him out of jail.
We're gonna see if we can get you out of this.
That's not even the first time. The first time that this blanket of innocence has gone over, because he's a good boy. He's a good man. He doesn't deserve this. Perfect example. Brock Redacted Turner raped a girl, and then he comes back stating that he's happy that he can go back swimming and that he's over her. Had that been a black guy who did that, he would be dead. Period. He would be dead.
I'm gonna do the Diallo case. I mean, when he was just on his front porch at home doing nothing, no weapon, no nothing. It shot what 40 times.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're not mad about this, unsubscribe.
Like if you have a problem with people who have always been given the worst in this country, finally getting upset, wrecking stuff, because you know what? Y'all don't listen when we kneel down at a football game. Y'all don't listen when we peacefully hold up signs. Y'all don't listen when we try to talk to you as equals to tell you what our issues are. Y'all don't listen. Y'all don't care. You go back to, the regular flow of your lives. So when we start to make a ruckus, all of a sudden you're not doing it right. All of a sudden it doesn't help your cause. So please explain how everything that was going on before helped the cause. Please. Yeah. I'll wait.
Yeah. When we were peaceful and got sprayed with hoses and dogs turned on us and mace.
Martin Luther King III, Martin Luther King Jr.'s grandson, is on Twitter.
I heard about this. Go ahead.
The man is quoting his own grandfather, saying that riots are the result of voices that are gone unheard. Paraphrasing, right?
Yeah.
There are white people in his replies telling him Martin Luther King would never stand for this kind of violence. I don't know what you're talking about. The man's father. They're trying to tell him what Martin Luther King Jr. would do. His own son. They're trying to explain to him that he wouldn't condone this. When there are words that he's quoting from his own father that says that this is what happens. This ain't new.
The audacity is the definition of that privileged bubble. The audacity to lecture on how to be oppressed is the audacity of privilege.
It's so frustrating, and not to drag this section out for too long, but it's honestly we really couldn't ignore it this week.
We can't, and if you can
it's so pervasive.
Unsubscribe.
Please, because you are listening to 4 black men. We have black women in our lives. We have black children, some of us. So this is our life. This affects us, and it's affected everyone very deeply. And yes,
some of us want black children and are very scared to bring it into this world.
Right. Yes, this is a podcast about entertainment, about video games, TV, movies, music, stuff, to distract us from these hardships and such. So, I'm glad you guys are tuning in if that's what you're here for. But you know what? This is the real world and we live in it. So, if you're going to be here with us in the good times, then please stand with us, in the dark times. Because right now things are looking pretty bleak.
100%.
Understand that people are uncomfortable, and that is the point, because it's only when you are uncomfortable that things finally change. And right now things are boiling over to a point where they are going to change. Whether it's going to be what someone wants is a different story, but there is going to be a change. Now, is it going to be a quiet one? That's done with. I don't think people can be quiet about it anymore. I think it's coming to it. You aren't able to be in the middle anymore. You aren't able to be a fence sitter anymore. This is not an issue where you could be in the middle, where you would be kind of sort of okay. There is no kind of sort of okay. You either liked it or you didn't.
Yeah,
and
choose sides now.
Yeah,
I think a great song that kind of tells a little bit about what's going on. It came out years ago. Is Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. If you haven't listened to that, listen to it because it talks about some of the stuff that they were going through back then that we're still going through now. And I think it's a great story of America from the eyes of being black. It tells you everything that you need to know about how we're feeling and how a lot of people feel.
All right.
So we thank
listen to that.
everybody for sticking with us through this. We definitely appreciate any support. Thanks, Kia, again for that question. Love you, baby. We're gonna go ahead and close out our podcast. Jeff, if people want to find you on the internet, where can they find you?
So there is no if. So when you want to find me, check me out on Superman Jeff 12 on all social media. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Superman Jeff 12 on Facebook, and also on Mixer.
Sweet. What about you, gamer? Where can you find you if they're looking for you on the internet?
As always, you can find me at startbuttonreview.com, and it is SBRMRGAMER on just about every social media platform with the exception of Instagram. There is an underscore between SBR and Mr. because when you're this good, they call you Mr.
Okay, Blue, how about you?
It's your boy Blue Bones BLUB0 NES. You already know Wakanda Forever. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Play with Blue Bones. You know what I'm saying? Y'all look out for next week. Next week is gonna be. We have a. I'm gonna tell them about the Discord too. But next week we have a special guest. Are we announcing it right now?
Sure. Why not? Go right ahead. Let them know who's coming through.
Do I get a drum roll?
No, I don't.
No. Okay.
I don't.
Nope, there was an attempt.
I tried it. We're having the lovely cosplayer, nerd, and just wonderful black woman. Miss Kendra Davis is going to be joining us all the way from Queens, New York. I don't know if I said that right. I'm going to try and say "you're" properly when she gets here.
No, don't do that.
So I'm going to be practicing all week. I'm going to be practicing, right? But yeah, she's going to be joining us on the podcast next week, talking to us about her experiences and just how she gets down. And you guys are in for a treat. I've been friends with her for a long time. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Awesome. You guys can find me on pretty much all social media at Sigma Gears 9. You can find me on Facebook at Sigma and Sun. You can find my 3-minute reviews as well as opinion pieces and live streams with Escapist Magazine on escapist.com or their YouTube channel. Once again, I want to encourage everyone to write us emails like Kia did. Thanks once again for that very touching email.
Yes. Thank you.
To let us kind of blow a little bit of the steam off. But you can send emails to bbetgaming@gmail.com. Send us questions about all sorts of stuff like you just seen. We will respond. I want to thank my 3 co-hosts for joining me this week. Thanks to everybody who's listening. That's going to do it for episode 48. Peace.
Adios.